was very graceful.
You were?
It's fine.
100%.
Not a big deal.
Sometimes, it feels like there's a sense of suspicion when it's, too graceful. It's like, okay, he's being a little too accepting and nice about this. I know something's coming. Either something's coming or he's going to use this against me later.
So act like you were in my office, right? And this is what I hear while I'm doing my work. God, no!
Cue the Michael Scott meme right now.
Oh my God, no! Right? And I was in the middle of something, and his door was closed, and whatever. And then he came around, he's like, Kraus. And I was like, dude, what happened? And then he told me. All right, here we are. The Minty Road Podcast, Episode 4. Back again with Kraus, Trav, and Jack. We've got some upgrades. First of all, we got both lights working. We got both lights up, Trav.
This is going to be an amazing show today because this isn't the first time we've recorded this. This is the second time.
Yeah.
We got a full...
All the stuff that we didn't say, we're now going to say this time.
Language.
I was at home dreaming peacefully about how awesome this 4th episode is going to be. And then Jack sends a text saying, boys, we got to re-record this thing.
Listen.
We had different...
I'm just rubbing it in right now.
Yeah. But it was straight up Michael Scott, Toby Flenderson.
Dear God, no!
Yeah, it was... He heard himself more. He was going to be a bigger critic than we were. But here we are, episode 4. A couple things we're going to talk about. Ascended Heroes, the release schedule. We talked a little bit about distribution. That'll come in the middle of this conversation. We'll talk about our decision-making process with the products being released from Ascended Heroes and how we navigate through that between brick and mortar and having a pretty high-level stream. I think 30,000 followers, I think, is it's not small.
Yeah.
It's not the largest, but it's not small. We'll talk about the Nile Zero set release.
We can skip over that set.
Yeah. Can we get your opinion on that set real quick? And then
Trash bin.
We'll talk about rotation and the current meta. And then we'll end with a segment that Jack has now dubbed. What did you call it?
It's sticker time.
Okay, so let's talk Ascended Heroes. Of not Ascended Heroes product, but the Pokemon Day celebration boxes.
Yeah.
And we got 12.
What packs are in those?
Phantasmal.
Okay, yeah.
And Mega. It's not a bad little.
Okay.
It's not a bad little deal. Okay, so Ascended Heroes is in Japan. I think it would Mega Dream was called a high class set. When they do the English equivalent of that, it is a specialty set. It's like Prismatic. It's like 151. It's similar to Shrouded Fable, but it's not Shrouded Fable. It's not Black Bolt, White Flare. There are a lot of cards in this set.
Are there Master Balls?
There are not. They've done a thing where they have printed reverse hollows with like a Love Ball or a Friendship Ball, but those aren't considered hits.
Okay.
Like they did with
Prismatic. So like Prismatic, where everything you open is either a Pokeball or...
I watched some openings, and you get one like ball reverse hollow in every pack.
Yeah.
So it's not like in Prismatic where you get a Pokeball or Master Ball.
So
it's not guaranteed. It's just the reverse slot. But having said that, there's no Master Balls and there's no duplicates. So you can't get like a Love Ball and a Friend Ball of Pikachu. Pikachu just has one version of a ball reverse on it versus the other cards.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Trav, as a business owner. Pokemon made this decision. I don't know what the inputs are, right? They were supposed to release, there's a release schedule. January 30th was supposed to be 2 types of 2-pack blisters and 2 types of 3-pack blisters that were released on January 30th. 3 weeks later, they were going to release mini tins and ETBs. And then 3 weeks after that, they're going to release posters and binder collections. I don't know what it is. And then after that, you got booster bundles and etc. So, it's a pin collection is releasing with the poster or binder, whichever one. So they delayed the 2-packs. So maybe it's operational logjam. Maybe it's, they didn't have the capacity, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So if you were sitting with pick the number, 5 to 17 different people on the board of directors, and you're in that meeting, and you get the information that, hey, we're not going to be able to deliver 2 packs to customers on January 30th, printed in English. It's not just America, it's also in the EU, right? So it's not just to us, it's not localized to North America. What would your thought process be behind still launching 3-pack blisters, which you know are a small amount of what's typically released, versus just delaying 3 packs also?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, if you're asking me what I would do with that information, I think I would probably delay the 3 packs.
Yeah.
And I would delay the 3 packs for the benefit of the consumer. But I think the real answer is a little bit more nuanced than that. There's some technicalities here on both sides of the fence that I think we got to discuss. Let's just talk for a second about market conditions as a result of the news of the 2-pack blisters not coming out. So we've only got one product coming out. It's going to be out for about a 3-week window.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and this just so happens to be a product that the quantity of booster packs that are going to hit the market is coming from a product SKU, the 3 packs, that typically are a little bit lower printed anyways. And so when you think of the totality of all the booster packs that will ever be printed from Ascended Heroes, I don't know the exact number, but just for argument, let's say it's 10 million booster packs are going to be printed. What percentage of booster packs on the total supply of Ascended Heroes comes from 3-pack blisters? Nobody knows that number. Pokemon knows that number. We don't know that number. I'm guessing it's 5%. Probably 5% of all packs, if not less than that, come from this product SKU. So really what happens from that is you've got a release happening for 3 weeks where the only product is going to be a hard-to-find product that has lower print runs. The demand is there for this product. People want this product, and capitalism, people pay whatever they're willing to pay, and that dictates the price of the product. So scalpers be damned, whether or not you like products selling above MSRP, don't like it, whether you got to compete with people at the big box store, it doesn't matter. It all equalizes. And right now, it's coming in at about $15 a pack.
I want to contextualize real quick 3-pack blisters versus other stuff. So I'm looking at our data from what we got for Phantasmal Flames. So we received 26,000 packs, 26,138 packs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, from distributor, Wave 1 and Wave 2 of Phantasmal Flames packs. And in that, we got 306 packs.
From 3 packs.
From 3-pack blisters.
Well, so what percentage is that?
1.1.
Yeah, 1.1%
Now,
of all the packs.
Before someone jumps in the commenters and be like, well, that's because you don't order 3-pack blisters. Okay, so we put in a pre-order of 3-pack blisters for 3,624. So it's not like we didn't press the button to say we want these.
Yeah.
Right? So we asked for 3,600. They gave us 102. And that's split between 6 different distributors. That's not just one guy, right? So we asked for 3,600 and we received 102. Right? Okay, so that lets you understand, hey, in a normal release, 1%.
We got 1/3%, 0.3%.
Of what? Of what we ordered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 102 out of 3,600.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy cow.
Okay, so, and then in reality, from everything that distro allocated to us, 1.1% of our total pack allocation came from 3-pack blisters.
Yeah.
So we're probably not outside of the norms of most stores there. So that gives you a contextualization of what this product is.
Simplified, it's probably the worst product to get as the first product that's actually going to come out from a supply standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I think everybody knows this, but just there's not going to be a ton of supply to the point where I want to talk about the market price just so you guys can see cause and effect of what's happening here. So I'll show my screen. We'll go through the market price of both 3-pack blisters. And what it's doing for booster pack pricing. And then we'll talk about what do we as a brick and mortar actually do with the packs that we got, because there's a whole conversation to be had there. So let's just look at one of the 3-pack blisters. Right now, lowest listing is $46. You can see when that news came out, you see this giant spike from a sales velocity standpoint. Yep. This was back on the 21st of January. It was a week ago today. We got the news. And you can see not just on this one, but the other 3-pack blister, there was a huge spike of purchases. And so this is equilibrium forces in economics. This is how it balances out. People heard the news that this was going to be the only set, The only product that would come out that same day, you had, whether they're investors, streamers, I don't know who, they're out there and they're buying up all the inventory because this set's going to be the set. Surprisingly, 3-pack blisters were selling for $36 a week ago today.
Yeah.
Now the lowest listed is $55.
Yeah.
So you've had, I don't know, I mean, what's the quick math? 75%,
yeah.
70% increase in lowest listing market price. So then what that does is that trickles down to booster packs. So now booster packs skyrocket up. Only one listing right now for booster packs for $16. And going back to the idea that are people going to pay for these packs? Well, look what happened yesterday. Yesterday on the 27th, today's the 28th, you had 281 booster packs sold. So again, whether that's, I don't know if that's one sale or what that is. Look, you had one person buy 228 booster packs. So somebody that's realizing, hey, I'm not going to be able to get these packs, and they're going out there and they're buying what they can. So this is interesting. I wonder how it's going to affect investors, people that try to collect.
When you talk about investing as well, part of that's pull rates, right? And we looked at pull rates. The harder the pull rates, the more it seems that sealed product goes up in value over time. Like look at Evolving Skies, Prismatic.
Or the value of the cards inside of it, right? So if you've got a booster pack of a set that has the opportunity to have a $1,000 card or $2,000 card, then the quickest way to devalue your holdings there is to open the pack, right?
Yes.
Because regardless of where the card moves, that pack still has the chance to get it, and so the pack has high value. So that being said, shout out to, what was his name again?
Jay Ketchum, TCG. I'll give a shout out.
Yeah, Jay Ketchum, TCG. By the way, Jay,
he's the GOAT.
If you get a chance, if this comes across your feed and you watch this and you're at this part, right? Like DM us. We want to send you a 3-pack that is going to be in so high demand for the work that you did.
Maybe 1 pack.
He sat and watched a bunch of streamers and kept a little tally pad.
It was, by the way, I went back and looked. It was 1,004 packs.
1,004 packs.
Yes.
That he sat and watched somebody else open, and he kept track of what the hits were. So there are 33 illustration rares in Ascended Heroes. You have a 1 in 10-ish shot. SIRs, there's 22. You've got a 1 in 91 shot. A Mega Attack rare, there's 7. You got a 1 in 39 shot. And for the gold, it's like 1 in 1,100. So
we're saying 90 packs is the right. I mean, there'll be, as more packs open, like
it'll
TCG Player
normalize.
does like a 10,000.
Yep.
There's other streamers that Danny Phantom does pull rate sometimes.
Yep.
But let's assume it's 90.
Yep.
At $15 cost per pack, 90 packs, you're looking at $1,350.
To get an SIR.
But not even the one that you want.
To get the one that you want, right? The math with 22 SIRs, it's 1 in 2002.
Yeah. So this is, if we did a segment that quit opening sealed and just buy the singles that you want.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no joy in that. That's not very fun.
No.
Yeah,
no, it's the dopamine, the dopamine flush that happens when you open it and you get the Umbreon, right? You've been there.
So I've got something for you guys that I found yesterday. You guys want to know how much pre-sale pricing is?
Okay,
on
wait.
singles?
Wait.
Has pre-sale price that actually came out?
Wait.
Was it
I've got some
yesterday?
data. I've got some data.
I sent you an email, Trav. Pull it up so they can see.
Oh, let me see. Let me get there. This is current comps of the Mega Gengar.
Oh, you got it too? Okay. So
these are the old, this link for eBay?
there was
Man, I have it pulled up right here. I just copy and pasted it.
there was a sale on the Mega Gengar.
No, it's not sold yet.
No, there is one that sold.
Okay.
$2,025.
$2,000. Currently, I have, sorry, Trav, I sent you the link and I apparently can't do it. Currently, with 10 hours and 6 minutes left, the Mega Gengar SIR is $1,006. There's one with 10 hours.
Behaviorally, I just don't understand that logic of those people that would pay that much money to get it that early. I mean, you could make an argument that if it was like you knew that it was going to grade a 10 and then you did like the 5-day service for PSA and then it's all about selling it to that first person that's going to buy the 10 for $6,000.
Yeah.
But
So here's
that's
what
nuts.
here's what I've got.
There are 4 here with more than a day left on them that are all at $950 to $1,050.
This has got to be some conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, pumping prices like crypto bros do before it's going to get rugged out from underneath of them.
I don't know, but I mean, so I've got the Gengar
Crazy.
sold at $2,025. The next is a Dragonite Gold sold at $1,300. The Charizard Gold one sold at $949.
What's also crazy is that everybody likes the golds this cycle.
Yeah,
and the
really
golds
weird.
of Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted the golds.
The next card that sold was the Pikachu SIR at $660. And then I've got a Dragonite.
Is that the cartoony one?
Yeah, by James Turner.
$660?
$660.
You're out of your damn minds.
Dragonite SIR sold at $610. And then Mewtwo
Okay,
SIR sold
so,
at
so
$525.
let's layer this over what you were talking about. You said, investors. So if you were being thoughtful about where you're spending your money in Pokemon sealed product investing, you would probably try to scoop as many 3-pack blisters as you could, because you know that with the announcement that they've made and the relative scarcity of the product, generally speaking, that a ton of these are going to get ripped, and 5, 10, 12, 18, whatever it is, years from now, the amount of 3-pack blisters from this set are not going to be around. Fair?
Yes, extremely fair. And
But pause. So if we normalized to like Obsidian Flames, right, when the market wasn't crazy on fire, you could buy a booster box in a brick and mortar store for $110, $115. It was released August of 2023. And in August of 2025, I think it finally broke $400 for a booster box, or $350, right? Jack
Yeah.
can throw up the data. You can see it there.
I'll go
So,
find it.
so in that, what that means is that to make a 3x total return, a 2x on your investment, a 3x return, it took 2 years with an Obsidian Flames booster box. If you're able to go grab 2 or 3 packs at Target at $16 and sell them for 48 within 10 minutes on Facebook Marketplace, how long do you want to hold to get a 3x, even though knowing that it could hit high? I see what you got here. You go.
yeah, I mean, it's a profound thought, and we struggle with this here internally. Right now, the hobby has product on release day, and it's not just this set. It's been like this really since Prismatic, that sells for the comparable price point as a Sword and Shield product did 2 years after set release.
Yes.
So in sealed collector, if you're an investor and you are trying to kind of buy low and sell high, time's your best friend. The great thing about Pokemon is that there's never been a set that a year goes by that it's typically not worth more than what it was when you bought it.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna always go up in price. That's kind of what I've seen historically. It doesn't matter what you buy in Pokemon. It goes up in price. Even Steam Siege. I remember when Steam Siege, when I got into the hobby, I mean, you could buy Steam Siege booster boxes for $85, and now they're like $600. I mean, it's just crazy. But the thought here is that with new stuff, you don't necessarily have to wait 2 years, 3 years to get that 2 to 3 times return on your money. And that creates the preconditions for scalpers. It creates the conditions for people to run out there, and it's this explosive compounding effect where if you can buy at MSRP and make 100% return on your money, it almost has a doubling compound effect where the market just immediately shifts past that next little incremental boost in value, and it just explodes to this off-the-charts level that we're seeing right now, and it's even amplified. I don't think that we've had a set release that packs were $15. I think Prismatic was $12. What did I go back and spot check this? But I think when Prismatic dropped release weekend, I think it was $12
I
a
think
pack.
Black and White might have been up there.
Yeah, I don't think 15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 is insane.
It's nuts. Regardless if it's happened before or not, it's asinine.
Well, so real quick, you made a point the other day that because I'm such a great producer, I definitely didn't fumble the recording and have to go back and try and get this out of Travis again. You made a point about 3-pack blisters.
Yep.
Being something that potentially you may want to not rip
Oh,
and
yes.
hold on to.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
thought was a great point. Will you go through that again for me?
Yeah,
please?
so imagine this way. So let me show this. So we've got, I don't know if you can zoom in on this. What, wholesale cost, $9, $18 a wholesale cost. These are 2 Cosmic Eclipse 3-pack blisters.
2019. So
2019.
6.5, 7 years old.
Yeah.
They're in pretty good shape. The blister's not coming off.
Yeah, they're minty. They look
The
good.
blister's not yellowing, right?
$900 is what we're asking for those here in the shop. We bought them from I think we paid like $700 for them
Yeah.
like 6 months ago.
Crazy.
One of the 3-pack blisters, they had one eBay comp for. The other one, there was no comps for it. And with Ascended Heroes, to Jack's point, one of the things I was thinking of is that because market pricing right now for Ascended Heroes is $15 a pack, because this is going to be the only product that you can buy now, it's probably going to be heavily opened. So if you think of the grand totality of how many collectors are going to decide to keep these 3-packs sealed, knowing that the market price is already $15, I think it's probably a very small percentage of these that actually get put up on a shelf to age.
Yeah.
So what that means is 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the amount of 3-pack blisters out there in the market is probably going to be very, very, very small. So I kind of had this thought that, and this is what makes it really tough. We're a brick and mortar card shop. Let's say our wholesale cost is $9 on these. We could sell them if you get crucified in the comments. But let's say that we sold them for $45 market price, which we're not going to do, by the way. But let's just play the hypothetical. If we were, we'll make a huge return. Almost 5x on our money.
Yeah.
Pay $9, you get 45. That's winning a 5x return on your money. If we decided not to do that, and we're getting what, 600 of these, 600 packs. We're
600
getting
packs, 200-ish 3-packs.
We're getting 200 3-pack blisters in roughly 10 cases. If I just decided to put these 10 cases unopened in the warehouse, didn't touch them, in 5 years, would I be better off than what I am right now?
Yeah.
And the odds are, just chances are in 5 years, these are probably selling for more than $45.
Almost any Pokemon product that you put in storage and hold on to for 5 years
is
going to appreciate anyway, right? So on top of that.
So, but what I'm saying, on top of that, you pay even a higher premium than that because this is the elusive 3-pack blister. You can't find it. And you think back in the marketplace conditions, why can't you find it? Well, this makes complete sense. It was the only time Pokemon had a release where it was the only product that came out. It was a short print product. We already went through. It was only 1% or 3%.
1.1% of our total allocations of Phantasmal Flames came in 3-pack blisters.
Yeah, it was already a short print sealed product anyways, compounded with it's the only product to get, which means that probably 95, 98%, I mean, a huge number is going to get opened, which is probably a prime pick. If you find one of these, don't open it.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, because I want to touch real quick on this. We also had a discussion about how, you get shorted allocations. You get waves, right? Like we were talking about. But then we end up having to go and buy a bunch of our product for releases on secondary market.
Yeah. So let's talk through the economics real quick, Trav. Let's make the math easy. We got 200 from distro, and the cost was $10. So we're $2,000 of capital in, right? So we turn around and we sell them. Let's just make the worst decision according to all of our viewers as possible, which is we're going to sell them at market, $45.
Ooh.
Right? So that's $9,000.
You got security? You're about to get shot.
That's $9,000. Okay? So $9,000 less the $2,000 in, we made $7,000, right?
If we sold everything at the peak of the market, $45, which on TCG Player, people are buying those all day right now.
Right. Okay. So that's $9,000. Okay. So my gut says 200 3-pack blisters. Potentially, let's just say we limit it to you can only buy 2 per person, like Target and Walmart or whatever. In person, if we had every single one of those in person, we sell out. We open at 10 a.m. We sell out before 1 in the afternoon. It takes 3 hours. We're done with those if we have all of them. If we put them on stream, which once again, I said earlier, we got 30,000 people on stream. We've got the regulars on stream are like your regulars in the store. You want to take care of them. We like them. We want them around. But the competition in store is different than the competition on stream because on stream, you can just swipe to go to the next store. Whereas when you're in person, you've actually driven here, you've gotten out of your car, you're in our store, you get to see other products that we have. So there's a little bit more stickiness with the customer that walks in the door. So if we're on release weekend, only going to have 3 hours worth of product in store. On stream, we could probably elongate that. We might end up having 12 hours of stream time, maybe a 24 total real hours of having the product available on stream. But then we lose all being relevant. We lose our relevancy because someone's going to go to the next stream if they want to get Ascended Heroes. So you could put them all in the store. You could put them all on stream. How do we navigate through that?
The 10 cases we're getting this. So the 200 individual items.
Yeah.
A brick and mortar card shop. We've had a brick and mortar for 3 years now. About 60% of our revenue right now comes from in-person traffic. 40% stream. At the old shop 5 months ago, it was reversed. The stream was probably 60% of our revenue. This bigger store, we're right next to Target, better location. We actually had a good come up, I think, with our new location.
Yeah.
But let's just say for the sake of averages, it's split 50-50. It brings up this huge topic, which you started going on this path, and I'm just going to layer onto it, which is what is our moral obligation, and what do we, from a business standpoint, do with the limited scarcity that we have to decide, do we sell that just in person or do we sell that on stream? And they're both equally important from a revenue standpoint.
Correct. And from a customer retention
and
standpoint.
from a customer standpoint. And I could make the case that our stream customers are way more loyal.
Yep.
From a frequency of purchase, and to your point, they have a lot more competition.
Yep.
We have a much easier way to lose those customers to competition versus we're one of 5 brick and mortar card shops here in town locally.
Yeah, and we're the only Pokemon only card shop in town. I say that hesitantly because maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we sell some One Piece, but 95% of what we sell is Pokemon.
Yeah.
I remember when I opened, somebody put in the comments, they said, a card shop that's going to only sell Pokemon, that guy will be out of business in 2 months. I'm going to find that Reddit post and comment. We're going to put that up.
String them up.
I know.
There's a decision path to be made here. And one of my favorite things about business is, generally speaking, and I think it's a business like law, like Murphy or whatever, if you're only presented with 2 options, brainstorming for a third option is preferable to the first 2. And so Trav and I, mostly Trav, 99% Trav, is trying to think through, hey, do we do all in store or do we do all on stream? And Trav just says, well, screw it, man. I'm just going to go get more product. So what happened with Prismatic? Huge demand for the
Yeah, I
ETBs.
totally forgot. Yeah. So Prismatic was such a heavy in demand set that we didn't get enough allocations for what we wanted. We even got roasted for this because there's a story here, and this story is important to tell. It's a optic story for consumers coming in the store and what you perceive as us being, quote, scalpers. So pay attention here. We sold, in this case for Ascended Heroes, we're going to have 200, 600 packs. It's going to be gone in 24 hours. This is not even, regardless of where we put it, whether we put it on stream or whether we sell it in the store, the product's going to be gone in 24 hours. So a week goes by, we don't have product for 3 days. I've got customers that come into the shop and they want to buy Ascended Heroes and we don't have it. That's a letdown. And you've got people that come in the door that they want it so bad that they're not even caring about not getting an MSRP. They just want to open the packs. They're willing to pay $15 a pack, no problem. It's capitalism, right? I mean, it's if you're a person that will only pay MSRP, great, be that person.
Yeah.
If you're a person that's willing to pay $2,000 for that Gengar card that we talked about, great. You are an adult, or maybe you're not an adult. Maybe you're spending your parents' money. Maybe you got a trust fund. Who knows? You get to make that decision. For us, when Prismatic came out, I went and spent $15,000. I recognized that this product that we got was going to go out.
We didn't have enough ETBs for employees to purchase them.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I got the 200 packs that we're getting. I bet you I could sell 50 of those to employees without us,
Probably just one employee, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jack would buy them all.
Yeah. The degenerate runs strong with this one.
Yeah, well, it's taught by the best.
But the broader point that I'm trying to make, which can't be lost, is that the product's going to run out, and for us to do our job to keep product in stock, I went and I purchased it, and it was a good purchase. I think I paid $85. I spent $15,000. I went to eBay.
You found a guy.
Found like 3 sellers.
Yep.
I bought like 80 ETBs from one, 40 from another. This was about a week before release.
Yeah.
Just because I knew, like, listen, we ain't going to have them.
And that was equivalent to the amount that you bought in the secondary market was either a 2 or 2.5x of what we got from distributors.
Yeah, we and then so here's the blowback. I'm going to circle back. If I buy them at $90 an ETB cost average after we sell our initial distribution, yeah, I got to charge $110 in the store for it. I got to make $10, $15 for everyone we sell. Otherwise, I'll just put my money in the S&P 500 and make 10% compounded annually on average. And why am I opening a shop for it? Like, it's business. I gotta make money, right? So don't fault me for that. But the optics that sometimes customers have when they walk in is that those prismatic ETBs that we have up on the shelves, that's from our original print allocation. No, it's not. It's never like that. These Ascended Heroes 3-packs are going to be gone in a day. I'm going to have a stream that I have full-time employees that work here for a living, for their livelihood, opening packs that need to have product for stream, and I don't have any product to get them. And so, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it, we got to make some decisions to say, are we going to go buy more Ascended Heroes? And if the answer is yes, then we've got to sell it for more than what we pay.
Correct.
And that's just the reality of where we are.
Let's come back to the economics that I was walking us through. So we got $2,000 in. We sell the original run at full market, once again, just to make everybody mad, rage bait a little bit. So $7,000 delta between what we receive and what we spent. We take that $7,000 and then we reinvest it back in product. Right? That's what we do. That $7,000 doesn't go. And by the way, rent for this place is close to that number to begin with. But we take that $7,000 and we don't just put it in the owner's pocket and have him be like, ha ha, you suckers bought Ascended Heroes. No, we went and reinvested that in the secondary market because demand is high. And we use that to fund purchases to be able to get 2 to 3 to 4x the amount of original distribution allocation in products so that we have product for the next 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and we always sell below TCG player on release week. So generally speaking, on release, we'll be one of the cheaper ones in the city. We don't have to be the cheapest because here's the deal. Like I said, regardless of what we price it as, it's going to be gone within 24 to 48 hours. If this was all about just making profitability, I'll charge 10% above market for everything. And if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. And guess what? If it doesn't sell in 5 years, we're going to have this. So I win regardless.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I feel like we have this conversation every podcast. Guys, basic economics is the market is never wrong, and the value of something is what someone will pay for it. That's the market price.
And when people get out of the hobby, as business owners, what we do, we deleverage off of Pokemon. I just spent $50,000 buying One Piece. Yeah. Because One Piece has just been crazy. It's just been going nutso. And so we kind of pivoted, and we got some good One Piece product coming in. But if you don't like it, you need to stop buying it.
I was just going to say, you need to convince all your friends and all the influence that you have to not spend $15 on Ascended Heroes.
But then what would happen is that I lived through the hobby where you had the Darkness Ablaze and Rebel Clash era that was just straight trash, which is actually going to happen again from our next segment that we talk about with Perfect Order. It's going to be the driver that just kind of collapses the market, which I guess we need to come back down to reality moment. But when you're living in an environment where you've got a chase card that's selling for $40 and you're not getting that $2,000 Gengar, what makes this hobby exciting is that because packs are $15 a pack, you've got a card like a Gengar that's selling for $2,000. Yeah. That is cool. That's exciting. I like that. It's a fun hobby to be in. The other thing is that this hobby employs tens of thousands of entrepreneurs that just vend. And if the market wasn't what it was, the whole vending economy wouldn't exist.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot to think about there, a lot to unpack. But yeah, I hope that was insightful for you guys. I know it was for me when I first heard it. So I wanted to make sure we got that covered.
Yeah. We had this conversation and we continue to have it. Like, what are we doing as a podcast? And I think the single highest value thing that we can bring to people via this podcast is the decisions behind running a brick and mortar, the behind the scenes thought processes on why do you walk into your local card shop and you see them selling a pack of Journey Together for $7 or whatever, and a pack of Prismatic for $16 or $18. Why is Crown Zenith $21? You walk in a week later and it's $16. You walk in a week after that and it's back to $19. Why? And part of that is, I mean, we want to walk people through why. We're trying to communicate to you what it takes to run a card shop. For all of the trolls out there that just want to, pop in people's rip and ships or streamings and say you guys are, scampers or whatever. To the people that walk into a card store and are frustrated that a 3-pack blister is going to be $45 on release day. Whatever it is, we're trying to provide the information for you to be more educated about what's going on.
All right, so we're going to jump into meta real quick, talk a little bit about what happened over the past weekend and a little bit about what's coming up. So, Josh, why don't you take it away. We had some regionals, right?
So there were 3 events. There were 2 regionals, one in Merida, Mexico, one in Birmingham, Great Britain. And then there was a special tournament that was held in Auckland down in New Zealand. And I think it might be one of their first tournaments post-COVID. So it's been a minute since Pokemon has been in New Zealand. Generally speaking, to be able to make Worlds as a professional Pokemon player, it's really hard if you live in Japan. You have to make it through 5,000 plus people tournaments. And so New Zealand and Australia tend to be where Japanese pro players will go to try to get their invite by winning one of these tournaments. So the deck lists aren't out for that yet. We can try to take a look at it. But I've got Merida pulled up because 2 of the top 8 decks were Grimmsnarl Frostlass, which currently is one of my favorite decks to play. Raging Bolt and Ogerpon up there. I think it's interesting that there's that Gardevoir didn't make top 8.
That is kind of crazy, but I mean, a lot of times though, these smaller regionals, there's a lot more. Let me screw around and find out kind of
sure,
shenanigans.
or teching for it, right?
Yeah.
Gardevoir was 9, 10, 11, 12 in placement. Most of you that follow, none of this looks too crazy. The deck inclusion for the Grimmsnarl that won wasn't anything too crazy. I mean, Toedscruel and Psyduck, 2 TM Evos, 1 TM Devo, 1 Air Balloon. Nothing out of the normal here at 3-2-2 line of Impidimp, Morgrem, and Grimmsnarl. And then, of course, 4 Monkey Dories. Nothing too crazy there. The Charizard Dragapult list is as gross as you would imagine. It's
the old Zard Pult popping back up.
It
just won't go away.
Just mash it together.
People just trying to make that work as long as they can. Right?
Let's take a look at Birmingham. Dragapult Nor won. Flareon Box was second. And this goes to show you in the current meta, if you're playing, you don't need to go run to Limitless to figure out what your list is. You just simply need to play your best deck that you know, and get enough reps in that you're comfortable with the 57, 58 cards that you need that make up the core. And then what are your couple tech cards against what you think the meta play is? Like Oyvind here. Oyvind's been playing Charizard for over a year, if not more.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good deck, but you got multiples to choose from. You can choose from Charizard. You can choose from Goldengo. You can choose from Gardevoir. You can choose, Flareon Box, Terra Box. Emma has been playing this for a long time. She's a good player. Most would tell you that deck is subpar. It's not a top tier deck.
Yeah.
But yet second at a regional, and this is her second place at a regional this season. So if you're a good player, you can pilot the deck even if your matchups aren't great. So most of you watching are not a top 50 player in the world of Pokemon TCG, right? So for those of you that are watching and you're trying to figure out, hey, what deck should I play? Get on TCG Live or whatever they call it now.
It's free. TCG Live.
Go into your local card shops, ask them for code cards, right? If you don't have enough credits, come to Limitless. You come here, you hit list, you take this list, and you see this little button, copy to clipboard, and then you go into TCG Live and you copy it in and you play it. And you see what you think about it. And maybe you run up against a deck and you're like, ooh, I really like how that deck works. Then you just go search out that deck, you copy the list, and you play it. And you just play. This really is an environment, Pokemon really is an environment where you have there's no downside to you spending 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 4 hours playing a deck before you decide whether or not you're going to go invest the $45.53 to buy a Dragapult Dusknoir deck. You don't need to go buy it to play it. You don't need to go round up other people. You can just sit there and play it on TCG Live and see what you think. Yeah, so here's the special event in Auckland. There's your top cut was 10 people, only 13 rounds, so smaller event. I don't know how many total. 80. It's a small event.
Yeah, these past weekends have been, I would say, definitely smaller than most regionals.
Correct. Most of the time, everybody's focused. Like Toronto had a whole bunch of people because everybody was there. So
all of this to say, rotation's coming.
Yeah. So let's come back to, let's look at Toronto just as an example. We can look at the others. None of them really matter. So Guardy Jellicent, Raging Bull, Dragapult Dusknoir, Guardy, Dragapult, Goldango, Grimmsnarl in 9th. Flareon knocked out. There's Emma again at 13th the week before. There's a Charizard deck. There's an Ends. Okay, let's look at Birmingham. 2,300 people.
Which, if you guys are wondering, the site he's on is Limitless TCG. It's a great site for just resources and where you can find deck lists and most recent results from tournaments.
They generally have deck lists for the tournaments posted within 72 to 96 hours. And the guy that I think would be called in charge of this, he's a player, and he's a good player. He competes at some of the big tournaments. And you see him make top cut or make a push on day 2. Once again, Dragapult, Dusknoir, Flareon, Noctowl, Charizard, Pidgeot, Zard, Owls, Absolbox, Guardy again. So rotation is coming. It's April 10th. Rotation is a thing that happens in the TCG every year. So the way that Pokemon does the TCG is when they print a card, and I'll show you, when they print a card, that card has some information on it. Obviously, the name, the stage, HP, what it does. But down here, in the bottom left, you have what set it's from. That's usually here. Tell me I'm wrong here, but in Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, it used to be an icon, right?
Yeah, it was a set symbol.
And
they changed it in Scarlet Violet base.
Yeah, so SV1, then Paldea evolved, and then Paldea Evolved was PAL, Obsidian Flames was OBF, etc. Prismatic Evolutions was PRE. Now they're doing the same thing in the Mega set, in the Mega era. Then next to it is this little letter, G. So this is how you handle rotating cards. Any card that is G or older will be no longer tournament legal after April 10th. So cards printed in SV base, basically, up to Paradox?
Up to Paradox Rift.
Are rotating. The majority of them. There is a little special condition here where you've got cards like Rare Candy. There are lots of options of Rare Candy. You can see over here, once again, I'm on Limitless. You can see that there is a Plasma Blast Rare Candy that is still tournament legal, even though it's out of rotation. So Scarlet and Violet's got a gold Rare Candy, but so does Plasma Blast. And it has the same language on it. It's the same, language isn't the right word. It has the same exact text. So you can use this. So this is a tournament legal card. So that's your little caveat there. But Gardevoir EX is not one of those cards. Gardevoir EX does not exist post G. So the SIR from SV1, you can see is G. And you can see the Paldean Fates is G. You can see the Paldean Fates Full Art is G. So those rotate. So what does that mean? That means that if you show up to a standard tournament, Gardevoir is not a legal card to play. So you got to figure out something new. So let's talk about other cards that rotate. So Gardevoir is gone. We'll start with the two prizers.
Praise the Lord. Gardevoir is gone.
Pidgeot EX and Charizard are gone. Goldango's gone. Mew EX is gone. Iron Hands and Miraidon is gone. Iron Hands, remember, has that attack that takes an extra prize card if it knocks out your Pokemon with it. Roaring Moon is gone. Squawkabilly, which was typically a one of or potentially two of that you would put in your deck that you wanted to use on turn one to be able to see more cards on your first turn.
So squawks a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, as he's known around these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is a big rotation.
This is a big rotation compared to the current meta.
Yeah.
So last rotation, Regidrago V and Regidrago V-Star rotated, and a lot of people were playing Regi because it got a really big boost in the arm from Dragapult coming out in Twilight Masquerade.
Right.
So Regidrago had an ability had an attack that whatever Pokemon is in your discard that is Dragon type, you can use that attack as your main attack. And so Dragapult is such a powerful attack, 200 to the active and 6 damage counters on the bench, that Regi made a strong push, but it didn't have a full lifetime. I think if we went here to Limitless, I don't know how to necessarily pull it up, but you can actually look at how many Gardevoir deck lists have won money. It's over $1 million in earnings, the Gardevoir EX list, and it's it's been a top tier deck since it came out.
For its full lifespan, basically.
Yeah, and so it goes away.
Well, that's not true. When Guardy first came out,
The
It
first
wasn't-
year,
because you still had like V stars and
Correct.
Lugia running around,
Correct.
you had options, but
Yeah,
like
Radiant
once the
Greninja.
V's left,
Yeah.
it was just Guardy.
it just dominated.
Yeah.
And FYI, if you're wondering why, in the current state of the game, energy acceleration is the benefit. So if you have energy acceleration printed on a card, whether it is a dark patch, which is an item that's no longer around, whether it's Professor Sada's, whether it's Crispin, if you can figure out how to attach more than one energy per turn, and if you can figure out how to attach two, or in Gardevoir's case, as many as you have in your discard pile, that is very powerful. And Pokemon did a good job because they surrounded Gardevoir with a couple one prize attackers like Screamtail and Drifloon that could hit for major damage with those energies attached. And so the symbiosis there was strong, and it provided an opportunity for Gardevoir to really take over the meta. It rotates. It's gone. Like I said, Pidgeot's gone, Zard's gone, Goldango's gone, Mew EX is gone, Iron Hands and Miraidon is gone, Roaring Moon is gone. Roaring Moon had a 3 energy attack that would knock out any Pokemon. It didn't matter.
Yep.
So with that, here's some more single prizes. I already communicated that Drifloon and Screamtail go away. So does Klefki, which is a psychic that, locks abilities if it's in the active. Hawlucha, which is big into Dragapult. Reminder, when you place it on your bench, you get to put 2 damage counters on your opponent's bench, which makes the math of doing 6 damage counters on Dragapult's
for Pheasantipity,
Yeah.
Pheasantskipity, TM, and
Yeah.
Teal Mask. And
Yep. Or
you
any
just
70
immediately get
HP
to it.
basic, you
Yep.
can knock it out. It gives you more damage. Instead of doing 260, you do 280, and that can turn a 0 prize turn into potentially a 2 prize turn without knocking out the active.
Yeah.
Or a 4 prize turn. So, and there's some crazy plays you could play with it. You could Turo it, or you could penny it. And
Do you think once Guardy rotates, Dragapult will be the new villain that everybody can't wait to see rotate?
Okay, let's finish all the cards that rotate.
Sure, yeah,
and
my
then
bad.
come back and talk about that.
Sorry.
Okay, so lots of single prize Pokemon go away. Here's your list of item cards, and this isn't exclusive. This is just what I think what I've seen be played. Earthen Vessel goes away. Electric Generator goes away, which Miraidon already going away kind of kills you Lightning Boys. Palpad, Picnic Basket, which was kind of a tech card against some of the Grimmsnarl, Frostlass, Monkey Dory decks. Super Rod, here's the big 3. Super Rod, Superior Energy Retrieval, and Nest Ball go away. Now, in Ascended Heroes, which drops today, if you're listening to the podcast on the day it released, does have an item card that is coming out called, what do they call it?
Pokepad.
Pokepad.
I think.
Yeah, which allows you to go search for a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box.
Yeah.
That just means it's a single prize Pokemon. So there's a little bit of a benefit there because now you can go find Dracloaks, you can find your stage 1s, you can find your stage 2s without having to use an Ultra Ball. But it's not the same, but it is a replacement form. Here's your tool cards that go away. Bravery Charm, which was 50 HP. EXP Share, meh. Luxurious Cape, meh. All the TMs go away. Devo, Evo, Turbo Energize. Those have seen a lot of play most recently. Turbo Energize got a lot of play with Iron Thorns. And then most recently it has been used in the Absol box to be able to get your big megas powered up, ready to go. Stadium cards, Artisan, Mesagoza, Town Store. There's more there, but those are the main 3. Your energy cards, which we've seen a lot of Jet Energy get played currently in the Charizard. There was a Charizard Klefki combo that you would use to keep Psyduck at bay so you could still blow up your opponent's Pokemon by disabling Psyduck. But Luminous Energy is used often in Dragapult once again because it's an energy that you can use on your Dragapult, but you can also use it on your Monkey Dory. Reversal Energy, Therapeutic Energy, those are all gone. And now the big supporter cards. So unlike items, unlike Pokemon, you can only play 1 supporter card per turn. And generally speaking, there are 5 or 6 supporters that almost every deck has. Not all 5 or 6 of them, but of these 5 or 6, a deck is going to have somewhere between 8 to 12 of these cards in their deck made up of these 5 or 6 Pokemon, or 5 or 6 supporters. One of them is Boss. And for a minute, we didn't know if Boss was going to rotate or not.
Yeah.
They reprinted it with inside the next regulation, and so it's sticking around. But Professor Sada's Vitality and Professor Turo's Scenario both rotate.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we had this conversation about you've got all the hand disruption cards rotating, but you've got
Iono and Judge go away.
right, and you've got Pokemon like Vivillon that comes out
Yeah.
with the ability to disrupt your opponent's hand. You've got Hariyama that came out with the ability to gust. So we kind of talked about how it feels like Pokemon might be gearing more towards moving supporters into Pokemon abilities and changing the way that players have to play the game now, and really make them become more creative with how they're going to get their gust effects and things like that. But it hasn't happened yet because they obviously reprinted Boss.
Yeah, but they didn't do hand disruption. So outside of Unfair Stamp, which is an ace spec,
Team
Iono
Rocket's Archer.
Yeah, Iono and Judge go away.
Yeah.
But doesn't Archer require you to be knocked out?
Yes.
Yeah, the turn before.
And it has, I think, if I remember right, I'll throw it up on the screen, but I think you have to have a Team Rocket's Pokemon knocked out to play Archer.
Okay.
So it only works in Team Rocket's deck, but I'll run that back.
Arvin was powerful, especially in the TM Evo world, because you could go grab an item and a tool card. Now, without an Arvin, Petrol becomes your only item search card, which is interesting. We'll talk about Team Rocket too. We'll tag that on at the end.
Yeah.
But I think what Pokemon is thinking is much less, hey, let's give Pokemon the actual abilities that we want. I think they've recognized that the inclusion of top decks of Ionos and Arvins and Turos and Research, Iono, Arvin, and Research are in a lot of people's decks. You can search the meta and you can find a lot of those. And I think somebody there is thinking along these lines, which I've played enough video games, I've played enough games to know that if you really only have 48 cards to build a 60-card deck, then the creators of the game aren't doing what they want to do. They want to give you the full ability to be able to have 60 cards. And the reason I say 48 is because if you run a playset of Ionos and a playset of Arvins and a playset of Research, or all of the decks are running some combination of those, anywhere between 6 to 12 of them in their deck, then you really don't have variation on what you can put in your deck, right? So you are handcuffed because of the power of these cards or because how the game is played. So what they're doing is they're decreasing the resources required to get the effect. Because when you have a Pokemon in play, you can use that ability, depending on how it's worded, every single turn without having to play a supporter. Whereas if you want to boss someone, if you want to change their person, you have Prime Catcher. You have Iron Bundle, but it rotates. You have the Makuhita Hariyama combo, but
a double, double too.
And that is when you evolve it, right? So it's a one time with the.
And then you lose Turo, so you can't pick up your Hariyama.
Correct, right? So
right?
they make the impact significant, and I think hand disruption and or research are either in Pokemon's estimate are either too powerful of tools, or they want to change the resource constraints so that you have to be a little bit more creative with how you do what you're trying to do. I don't think Team Rocket's Mewtwo is the Team Rocket deck that comes out. Because, pause. In Destined Rivals, the amount of supporters that came out specifically for Team Rocket's Pokemon is very, very strong.
Yeah.
You have a supporter, which is basically an Unfair Stamp, without having to be an A-spec. You have a stadium that if you play a Team Rocket supporter, you can draw 2 extra cards. You have a...
you got fill your hand to 8 with
I was just going to say, you've got a Lily's Clefairy before Lily's Clefairy was around. Not Clefairy, sorry, Lily's Determination before that was around.
You've got Prime Catcher.
You've got the old school Guzma, right? Hey, you move around their Pokemon and then you get to move yours. It's better than Boss because you get to move yours. It's Prime Catcher. Yeah. So the support for Team Rocket's Pokemon is very strong. The problem is that Team Rocket's Spidops and Mewtwo are some of the best attackers. Now, there was a very enjoyable deck to play that was not very strong because it loses to Dragapult very easily. This Team Rocket's Porygon.
Let's go!
Yeah, so I actually took second at locals here with that deck. People didn't know what to do. The way the deck worked was your attack was based on how many Team Rocket supporters you have in the discard. Well, coming up, ladies and gentlemen, there's a Team Rocket's Murkrow that, depending on how many supporters you throw in the discard, it does increasing damage.
I think it's 60 per supporter.
So instead of just running Brilliant Blender as your A-spec to get rid of 5 Team Rocket supporters in your first turn, you want to build up Murkrow. You do damage with that. They knock out your one prize Murkrow, and then you push your Porygon 2 or your Porygon Z up, and you attach your Ignition Energy or Team Rocket's energy to Stage 2 Porygon, and you deal damage times however many supporters you have. So you've got we got the closer before we got the mid game. Now the middies going to be live coming up, and I'm not saying it's going to be a top tier deck, but I'm saying I'm revisiting my Porygon deck. I don't know why Dragapult's still not up there. It's such a strong deck. The current problem with Dragapult is it doesn't swing for enough to kill high HP basics. Well, in the same set in Twilight, was it released in Twilight or was it Shrouded Fable?
Twilight.
Yeah, in the same set they gave us the ghosts.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got the Dusclops, Dusknoir line that gives Dragapult the opportunity to swing for up to 330 damage. Now, Hawlucha goes away.
Psyduck's still around.
Psyduck is still around, but Dragapult it's like a freight train, starts kind of slow, builds momentum, and then closes real fast, right? So Psyduck it is a speed bump, it is a hurdle that has to be overcome, but it doesn't destroy the deck.
But if you start seeing Team Rocket run around more, you've got Articuno as well.
You've got Articuno, which protects your bench, right?
From placing damage.
You also have Team Rocket's Mimikyu, which can mimic the attack of a Terra.
Yeah.
For one special energy, right?
Yeah, you remember that? You found out the hard way
I
with
did,
the Hydreigon.
with the old Hydreigon. I am a classic enthusiast where I find a Pokemon that I like and then I try to build a deck around it regardless of what everybody else says.
Same.
Surging Sparks Hydreigon was one of my favorites. Getting 120 damage attack off was beautiful, but it only happened once every 4 hands. Anyway, so with that being said, I don't know why the current decks that are winning the format that don't rotate have key parts of it rotating, aka their main attackers like Goldengo and Charizard and Gardevoir, wouldn't be powerful or successful post-rotation. So I think Dragapult will be there. I think Dragapult is a strong deck. Now it loses some things, but I still think it's there, right?
For sure. And I mean, that's the thing we don't know as well is we have no idea what's going to get released this year.
Yeah, we don't know what other cards
and
are
how
coming.
it's going to impact Dragapult or some of these
correct.
Raging Bolt. Even Raging Bolt's still going to be around. You don't know what you're going to see.
Yeah, like looking at Nile Zero for Perfect Order. Perfect Order releases March
27th.
Yeah, March 27th. So that's pretty far away. We have no idea what is going to be released inside of for the TCG coming up. There isn't anything earth-shattering, so I feel like the Megas are going to do fine. The Mega Kangaskhan, Absol Box, I think that's going to do fine. I think Dragapult's going to do fine. I think there's a chance for N's Zoroark to really show up and show out.
I really like Enzork. I was a big proponent of that deck when it first came out. It
does get a benefit in the fact that it gets an additional card that hits harder.
Yes.
With N's Zekrom.
I'll throw it up there.
So you have that going on. Another thing that we've got coming too is some of the decks that are currently mid-tier, like Grimmsnarl and Frostlass. There's some variations there where you've got Frostlass, Monkey Dory, plus a evolution stagnant, I don't know what the attack's called, but Jack will throw it up, where it keeps you from playing evolution cards from your hand. That placed really well. They were able to get that in the active this weekend. And it's a card from Paradox or Temporal. It doesn't rotate.
We'll get into all that on another episode.
Yeah, but you're able to play Evolution Jammer is what it's called. And so that's a card that's been around for a while that nobody's had play with. And so we may see more of that. We may see cards that are coming out of, I don't know, Stellar Crown or Surging Sparks. Please, Hydreigon EX, make it come back. We may see people figure out how to combo with Iron Hands being gone. If there is Dark Acceleration, there's a Hydreigon EX that gets an additional prize card, right?
But might find its way, might get Dark Patch back again.
Who knows, right? But right now, speaking, if rotation happened now, I would be real confident that you're going to see some level of Ends deck, Grimmsnarl-ish. 2 Dark decks doesn't make a ton of sense, but Grimmsnarl's pretty strong. And Dragapult, and then the Mega Boxes. That's my estimation of what we'll see being strong coming into the meta post-rotation.
Cool. All right, moving on to Tinker Time. What style of product could Pokemon make that people would lose their minds about that's not a UPC? So think Classic Collection that tanked. Think the Team Rocket briefcase from Japan. Figure collections of whatever type.
So there was a Chinese exclusive where they took card art and they created a figurine out of the card art. So I think if you did that with whether it's Ascended Heroes or Prismatic or 151 or whatever, if you had a flying Charizard like out of the SIR 151 that you could have a little figurine of, I think people would go nuts. So my answer is figurine, and not only from what they did in China, but also hearkening back to the Shiny Rayquaza that they did, or the Charizard that we brought up last week. If they had a Blastoise or a Venusaur, and I'm talking, like kind of like a big thing, a figurine.
The Hidden Fates, Ultra Ball, and Great Ball collection.
Yep.
Those were super dope.
Yep. So that's my thought process. There is a figure or figurine type collection. I mean, you could just partner with Lego and have them pay you money and have everybody go nuts over that. But they already did that, so that can't be my answer, I guess.
I kind of came up with two answers. One was a mystery-based product. Everybody loves a good mystery, and so if you had like a end of the era recap where, like, listen, you can't get Evolving Skies anymore, right? So they did a limited end of Sword and Shield to commemorate the Sword and Shield era. We've got one of every single pack in here, and it's a mystery-based product. Here's what you can get. Or do it for Scarlet and Violet. Like, do it at the sunset that's saying, hey, because when they do a UPC, I know you said no UPCs, but a UPC generally is only like a year or a year and a half a pack. It's like got like 4 or 5 expansion sets in there. Mm-hmm. Why not do a end of the era? There were 16 expansion sets that came out during Sword and Shield. 12 core sets and the 4 specialty. Yeah. Have a 16-pack UPC that has one of every pack. That's kind of taking you through like around the world. That'd be super cool. That's just from like a pack makeup standpoint. The other thing is I've had probably 6 to 8 of the mythical squishy collections get traded in. I didn't have a shop when those came out, so we didn't get any of those in allocation. But those always sell like within like 2 days if we get one of those in. It's got those little stress balls, those little squishy stress balls. Super cool. Something like that would be fun. And then third answer, because I can't just give one. I'm kind of sad they took away the pin collections.
Dude, I love the pin collections.
So they're bringing it back. There's going to be a pin collection for Ascended Heroes.
We did get Umbreon Espeon pin on that Prismatic collection box.
I've got one of the black and white era Reshiram tins. I think those tins sell for like $500 now for like a 4 packs in a tin. I got just like the tin, and I have all the pins in there. Not all of them, but I probably got like 30 different pins, and I've got pins from like it's like. The box that you get the pin out of is now like $500.
Yeah.
It's like $800 for this collection box. Yeah. And so those are super cool. It's just kind of like one extra thing.
What if they did something like a sealed collection box? So like you get a big box and you get one sealed booster box, one sealed ETB, one sealed triple pack, one sealed 2-pack blister. You get one of every product from that
bundle.
Set. Yeah, like a sealed bundle box you could buy. Yeah. So if you're a sealed collector, you get one of everything sealed. If you're not a sealed collector, you just get a ton of really cool product to open.
People would buy the heck out of that.
That is something I think would be really cool.
I thought that Pokemon for card shops, they have one thing that distribution provides to card shops. It's called a pre-release kit. It's in its own cardboard sealed form factor. So a master case of a pre-release set has one booster box, and it has one display of the build and battles. So you get basically 76 packs in a pre-release kit. If they did something like that, but it wasn't booster displays, it was like a card shop master case. It has 1,000 booster packs in there.
Yeah.
And it's only available for card shops. And we know that you guys want to sell singles. And so here's like basically those big black or those big white like cardboard dividers that you see at trade shows that people can put like 500 packs in.
Yeah.
Like give me like a giant crate, like a booster crate that just has like wholesale, 1,000 packs. And the goal of it is just to get pack supply. Like get rid of the form factor, get rid of because the problem with like the pins and the squishy collections is that's a production nightmare. You got to have an assembly line. You got to it slows it down. So get rid of anything that slows down the speed to get packs to the market. And instead of me having to buy, booster boxes, just get me like 5 units of 1,000. That'd be super cool.
Pin this comment, this question for next week, and maybe not next week, but future. When you look at Japanese set product releases, do you know that they don't do 3-packs? They don't do blister packs. They don't do ETBs. They just sell booster boxes. So my question is, don't answer now, because this is like the little teaser for to come.
Next week's Tinker Time.
Why, when I go look up all the products released for, pick a set, it doesn't matter, for sealed product, in English, there's 33 products, and in Japanese, there's 1. Right? Why is that a thing? Right?
I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna save it.
Yeah. I would love to see what other people's opinions are. Another good example is, why do we do collection boxes in the U.S.? We don't do collection boxes overseas. They do the special ones for the individual Pokemon stores, the Pokemon centers. I mean, they did the ponchos. The Poncho Pikachus came from those. But guys, that's been almost 10 years. So how come on set release, if you were to go buy Nile Zero right now, you only have an option of buying an individual booster pack or a booster box, whereas in the U.S. they're going to have 75 products.
Okay, it's a whole different world. Like, they have lottery systems over there because they have issues getting product to people.
Sure.
Are we ripping these on camera? $900?
No, we are not. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. Kraus out.
Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like.
See ya.